Oh,
Oh, we
you're
lost
live.
Mindy. It's okay. Well, I'm here. I don't know. Did we lose Mindy? It looks like we did, but I'm Richard Weil, and the beauty of technology today is great. And I am the principal and owner of National Restaurant Consultants. And I am live today from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And back in Colorado today, we have, as always, Mr. Brian Devine from Cafe Fuel and Top Line Management. And Mr. Matt Reddick is here, who's the senior project manager for Snyder Building, a well-known and very highly respected construction company in the Denver area. And somehow we lost Mindy Devine, not Divine, but Mindy Devine, who's the business development manager. Maybe she'll get back on. I hope she does.
I'll
And
keep an eye out for her.
is she coming back on, Brian?
Not yet. I'll keep an eye out for her.
Well, we'll watch for her. But anyway, we do these live, folks, and part of the reason we do them live is because we're in the food service and hospitality industry, and we know Matt, the $50 million question today to you, of course, in building and remodeling and business planning side, how difficult is it, and what can we tell the folks who are in the food service and hospitality and considering build or a remodel? What are some of the things that about your perspective?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on today. I appreciate the chance to talk with you guys. And one of my favorite sayings in construction, and I've been doing this for over 25 years in the Denver market. We're in Denver, Colorado. There's no 2 days that are the same in the construction business. It's always a challenge. And we work with a lot of clients that are both very savvy and very experienced in construction, and also some folks that are just starting out and it's their first opportunity to jump in and start a new construction business. So it's two different audiences, obviously, and we try to cater our experience to those audiences and what their needs are. Denver particularly has been a hot market, and I can speak more obviously to the Denver market with specifics, but also talk in broader terms when it comes to what we hear, things that are going on nationwide. Obviously, the last year and a half has been difficult and challenging for everybody for an obvious reason, that being COVID. I went back and looked at some numbers because I was curious kind of what was happening in our market and across the country before COVID versus after COVID, because we were certainly seeing some struggles in Denver and across the country with relation to costs and labor availability, even before COVID. There was a story that was published back at the beginning of 2020 that Denver would see approximately 96,000 vacant spots in the construction industry with regard to skilled labor. That obviously means that we're running short across the board on skilled labor, and that obviously affects pricing. We also are seeing an increase in the amount of permits that are being pulled in the Denver market. Nationwide, there were approximately 135,000 permits pulled for construction projects, and that was in a report published in IPP magazine back in April of this year. And that's a mind-blowing number, obviously. It bears out in what we see every day in some of the timeframes that we deal with and some of the timeframes that we talk about with our clients as they just get started out. And again, like I said, I can tackle this from both a timing and a cost standpoint, but when you hear about the number of permits that are being pulled in conjunction with shortages in labor, shortages in resources, and certainly everybody knows what's going on with the supply chain and some of the challenges there, this all amounts to a difficult market to build in, not only in restaurants, but across the board. So hiring a qualified general contractor early in the process, we always suggest is the best course of action, and is going to not only give our clients cost certainty at an earlier stage, but also allows us to get things going a lot sooner and get things locked in at an earlier stage than maybe what we would have suggested maybe even 3 or 5 years ago. So.
Well, that's great information, and the labor shortage. I think that is one of the larger concerns right now, isn't it? Just finding skilled labor, not just the supply chain, but skilled labor. Are you as dramatically impacted as I believe the construction industry is, the restaurant industry, as far as just even getting people to apply for jobs?
It is. I mean, we have a trusted group of subcontractors that we network with on a daily basis. This is our core group of people that work on a number of our projects, and we hear the same thing from all of them. They're offering hiring incentives. They're trying to steal people away from other companies. There's certainly a limited amount of people out on the street that are looking for work right now. And certainly unemployment numbers are up, but the amount of skilled labor that we can find across the board in those trades is limited. So we hear it from our people every day that they can't hire enough people. The people that they do hire are either underqualified or oversell their abilities, which puts them in a bad position to make commitments to us and to other clients to put work in place. And yeah, it's a big problem. It was a big problem before COVID, and it continues to be a problem, especially in our market. And I think from people that I speak to in the industry across the board in other markets as well. So,
okay, I'm going to switch over to Mindy real quick. You are seeing a increase or flat or downward trend as far as people looking for contractors in the restaurant and hospitality space, as far as business development, and where are you seeing right now, Mindy?
We're seeing an increase, but a lot of these people are looking at second generation restaurant spaces, trying to take advantage of previous restaurants that were there to be able to reuse the equipment and the layout, but they don't totally understand sometimes that it actually costs more to reuse a layout if it's not functional for what they need.
Well, that's certainly a good point, and that is, you've got floor drains, and obviously you've got other infrastructures, and you may not have enough electrical capacity. You may only have a 200 amp circuit versus 400 that's required, or et cetera. I'm guessing even HVAC, Matt, you're running into that where people just don't have enough air moving through a building, right?
Yeah, correct. HVAC, plumbing, and electrical is always, those are always three of the major concerns when a prospective tenant's looking at leasing a space. Even if it is a existing restaurant space, as you mentioned, if it doesn't meet their needs, then there's a lot of perceived value there that might not actually translate into saved dollars at the end of the construction budget. Yeah, having rooftop versus split systems. What's the hood capacity? Where can we put makeup air units? If there is an existing hood, can the existing hood be reconfigured to work with the specific equipment that restaurant tenant is using? Is the grease trap large enough? Is the electrical service large enough? These are the types of things that architects and engineers look at, but as far as being able to pull together a complete package, really having somebody come in that has an understanding of what they're looking at, what the landlord is providing in the landlord letter, the work letter, and what's available. The building might not even have the capacity to increase an electrical service, for example. So those kinds of things are important to identify at the outset. And a lot of times we can give, pretty easily, we can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down on a space. And, based on pretty limited information, we can say, hey, this space is a go or a no-go for you. So,
and I think it's really important that you work with somebody like a Snyder. Not every general contractor has the experience in the hospitality space, and getting a hold of somebody like Mindy who can really help direct and coordinate things with Matt is important. Brian, I'm going to pivot over to you. You always have something really, a good tidbit or a nut to throw out on the marketing side. So what are your thoughts today?
Well, thanks for that. Thanks, Matt and Mindy. I really appreciate all that. And while I was listening, I thought, I wanted to keep things simple and short. And what dawned on me was that something that we are dealing with on a regular basis, believe it or not, is actually helping clients keep things simple and short on their marketing. And kind of matches perfectly, because if you get complicated, then things don't work as well. And if it's complicated for the end user, then things start to break down. And so trying to figure out how to simplify, believe it or not, can take more time than keeping things complicated. So if you have some time where you're thinking, okay, we've got this great program that we want to run, and we're going to offer this, and then all I have to do is take this and this and that, stop, right? Take a step back and ask yourself, if you got something in the mail that asked you to take 10 steps, would you? And you probably wouldn't. But if you got something in the mail or in the email or over internet or messenger that said, do this to get that, you're more likely to do it. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, that, and kind of, I was thinking about taking up other people's spaces. It might seem like that's simple, but apparently it's not. So if you can take that step back and say, is this simple for the person that I'm trying to engage with? If the answer is yes, go for it. If the answer is no, take some more time to figure out how to simplify. And, complicated stuff is fun for me because I'm like this tech geek and I love all that stuff. The reality is, if you can keep it simple, it's going to work better. So that's all I wanted to cover today.
Well, that's a great point. And back to the second generation sites. And I know there's a lot out there, Mindy and Matt. A lot of people think that because of COVID, there's a lot of empty spaces. Make sure that you're working with some folks that start with the realtor and the contractor. And of course, one thing that's great about Snyder is they've got the contacts with the architects, because you're going to probably need stamped drawings. Very seldom are you going to get into where it's just a remodel. And I know that Mindy's shaking her head yes, and Matt's shaking his head yes. It doesn't get that simple, and I'm sure you both would agree, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we want to be that one-stop shop, but we want to offer good advice to folks, and even if we're not the right fit or it doesn't fit within our time frame, I mean, we're going to be honest with people about that, and that's one of our first upfront things that we do. But yeah, getting the right team, getting an architect that really fits. Personalities are different. Certain architects are really good at certain things. Some architects are really heavy on complicated equipment packages. Some architects are more design oriented for really fancy design. So finding the right person with the right personality. We work with a lot of different ranges in that sector, and we like to think that a lot of times we can match the right person with the right architect. So that's very important.
And it starts with a call to Mindy, because she can certainly direct, lead, and coordinate that. Obviously, through National Restaurant Consultants, we're doing a lot of help in terms of referrals with Mindy. We've got a great relationship with these folks. So that's really it for today. Unless, Mindy, you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, we appreciate the opportunity to explain, because the earlier you get the contractor on, the better it will be for the project, because then we can help, construct it to the budget.
Yep, that's the key. Well, that's it for today on our 134th NRC Helpful Moment. We appreciate everybody joining us. So long for now, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.